Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you can all see me and hear me as well. This session is actually the part of our weekly jam, but this time we came up with a little bit different, or you can say a different topic, but this is very important for our software developers, people who belong to IT industry. This is about emotional intelligence. A lot of projects they get failed, or their outcome is not desirable. There is a huge contribution of emotional intelligence of the team that is working over there. So we thought that we should discuss this. We should come up with someone who has years of experience of dealing this kind of stuff. So that's why we came up. We have our guest with us. His name is Sabaudin Wakar. He has. I know this guy for last 5 years, and he conducted a training in our office as well, and the topic was same, and we observed a dramatic change among the guys who attended that training. So we thought that we should come up with a live session where our code movement community they should also um, uh, try to understand what emotional intelligence is and how important it is for the success of the project, and also for the growth of for personal growth as well as the growth of the organizations. So RK, can you please make him live? So Sabaudin Wakar, he is with me. He is EQ practitioner. He is also a corporate trainer. And over to you, Wakar. Before you come up with your own introduction, let me ask the first questions as well. So my first question is about first you can you please define what emotional intelligence is, and what it's mean for software engineers. So over to you.
Thank you very much for having me. It's always been a pleasure to be here with you. Okay, emotional intelligence is all about understanding your feelings and managing those feelings and understanding the feelings of other person and influencing those feelings. If I define it in an easy way, I have a task in my hand, like I have to do this task. But with these tasks, this is a logical thing. But these tasks, I have a feeling. If I'm feeling something, like frustrated about something else, and I have to perform this task, then result would be very different. If I am feeling like calmness and I have to perform this task, then result would be very different. So how can I switch myself from frustration to calmness in order to fulfill this task is called emotional intelligence. We are as human feel first and then think later. So we are as human are emotional creature. So in order to understand ourselves, we have to understand emotional intelligence. Secondly, our mind mechanism is all about in autopilot mode. So what happens, whatever reactions we have from the past, those reactions could be very helpful and those reactions could be not really helpful for our current job. So how can we understand those reactions? And those reactions always have emotions underneath their outcomes. So how can we understand those reactions? Once we understand those reactions, we can turn those reactions into the responses with the better responses and better outcome. Then in one line, if I define emotional intelligence, it could be like intelligently managing your emotions. It's called emotional intelligence. And now the second question you asked about the software engineers. So emotional intelligence is all about understanding the logic of emotions. Software engineers always making the logic of software, making the logic of code, and they are transferring one value to another value. So they understand the logic, but they are not very good at understanding the logic of emotions. For example, if a person like software engineer is working and suddenly he receive a call from somewhere, and he was working with very enthusiastic mode, but suddenly when he received a call, his mood gets down and he is upset. Now what should he do to come out of that feelings? Because emotions drive people and people drive performance. If my feelings are not in the right place, I cannot perform well. Research has proved this again and again. Sorry. So, for software engineers, they must know the logic of emotions. Why am I feeling what I am feeling? If I know why I'm feeling, I can do something about it. And if I name those feelings, it means that I come up with a better strategy in order to deal with them.
Thank you, Spaudin. And another question that I actually extracted from your definition: why it is important for software engineers? Why do you think that it is important for software engineers?
Look, I have already told that if software engineer is also an human. He's is dealing with different people, like he's dealing with his family, he's dealing with his colleagues, he's dealing with his environment. So he is good at his job, but when he has to deal with the people or the environment, even he has to deal with his own feeling. He is somehow upset and he is unable to get out of those feelings. So it's important for him to get out of those feelings so that he can focus and he can more work with wholeheartedly. So it's that's why it is very important. Then software engineers had to get the requirement from the client. They have to coordinate with each other as a team. So if team member, I have a case study. Once there was a different developers were sitting and they were working in one project. So one developer was not feeling good about the team, about working in a team, being in the team. He was not feeling good. He was having some different feelings, like not good feeling, unpleasant feelings. So that feelings impacted that project, the whole project. So if those team members are not aligned emotionally, they are not aligned, attached with emotionally with the project, it means the project is going to suffer.
Okay, do you have any research data? Do you think that when a software project fails, there is a contribution of emotional intelligence? It also contribute in the failure of software project. Do you have any data, or can you relate this?
Yes, I do. I can relate it. There's a sample data of 428 software engineers, and the one reason the project failed because of the poor gathering of requirement. And if we go down to the agile manifesto, and if we look at what was the main reasons of in agile manifesto about emotional intelligence, and it lies like you have to be empathize in order to get the requirement, because requirement is changing again and again. You have to be service oriented, you have to be adaptability, you have to be in adaptability mode. If you are not in adaptability mode, it means you are irritated by every time the requirement is changing, every time the client wants to change the software, every time the client wants to interact and telling you to do, you are doing wrong or you are doing not good, not according to the requirement. So you need to be related to the emotional intelligence. And data says that 48% change project failure uh, uh, depends upon the requirement gathering. And when we are gathering requirements, it's because of the poor gathering of requirement. 48% project fails. Secondly, the teamwork and the project management. So project management and the teamwork involves it's emotional intelligence. You have to understand the client first, and then you have to understand the team later, and then you have to understand yourself as well. So everything you have to understand. And if, for example, if you are not emotionally well, if you are not feeling emotionally well, team will suffer. The research says that if boss mood is bad all the time, the team will suffer, and team will act according to the boss mood, and it will impact the overall result of the projects and everything whatever they are doing.
So actually, as this conversation is more, it's limited to the software engineers, right? So the developers, the coders, software engineers, they are not outspoken people. They usually isolated because they think more, and they do more of the mental job. So how can we like invite and we can make them express their feelings? How can we do that? If I talk in terms of a technical person or an actual person, how would we do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. From outside, we are saying that I am feeling great, I am feeling happy, I am feeling my job is going fantastic. But from inside, it may be messy feeling. It may be inconvenient, confusing, even addictive feelings we have, and we are not sharing. And it is because the culture we are living, we are not really encouraged to share feelings, because we think that if I share my feeling, people will laugh at me. So what we do, we just suppress it inside, and because of that, our well-being is on the stake. So what we have, we can encourage, we can tell the importance of emotional intelligence and how important it is. And we should not use emotional intelligence in a negative way. There should be people, when they learn about the importance of emotional intelligence, that should be the case, like they learn the emotional intelligence and then they show professionalism and they share their feelings. And there are certain feelings which we feel, we can share those feelings even when the whole environment is changed, like we have given them all the importance and awareness about emotional intelligence. They will be well equipped with the tools of emotional intelligence. They can use those tools, and they can just regulate their feelings easily, rather than they just assume the results. When we are, research says that when we are in a bad mood, we attract negative thoughts, and when we are in a good mood, we attract positive thoughts. When they are in a bad mood, they are attracting negative thoughts. It means they are assuming their results, or assuming their answers. They are answering themselves with the negative thoughts, and they are assuming everything, that this is because they don't like me, this is because they favor other person, this is because they think that we are nothing. So they are assuming everything. Rather than we can educate them about emotional intelligence to express your feelings and then manage your feelings, and it can be managed. Even you are feeling miserable, it can be managed. It's all about reframing your thoughts, reframing the situation, reframing everything. Emotional intelligence in deep down, sorry, we are believe in a half truth. And if we just discover the other half, we can be in a better position.
So I have been in the industry for our more than a decade now, and I have worked as a software engineer as well, and then I started this entrepreneurial journey. I have seen a lot of times that people, I mean, those who cannot control their emotions, irrespective of how smart they are in their work, they usually suffer. I mean, throughout their career, they suffer. They cannot go well beyond or up in their career. So, do you think that emotional intelligence, if is not well managed, can make a smart person behave like a stupid one? Do you think?
You are asking that emotional intelligence is not well managed. Could you elaborate this line, please? Then I answer the question.
Yeah, I mean to say, like if someone does not understand about emotions and is not well managed, do you think that he
Okay.
behave stupid irrespective of how smart he is?
Yes, there is a quote of Daniel Goldman that if we are not emotionally intelligent, we can, we can be smart in one place, but we can do some stupidity in other places. Like I have the example of my colleague. She was a brilliant writer. She was, when she writes beautifully. But what happens, I asked her, why don't you write a book? Why don't you just write it down, your thoughts? Your writing is amazing. She says, when I am in a mood, I write. When I'm not in a mood, I don't write. So it means her. creativity of writing depends upon her mood. So obviously that mood is hurting her. So what it could be the answer is that, yeah, we, through emotional intelligence, we can handle our moods in our hand, we can handle our uh, uh, mood, weather state in our hand. We do not have to depend on other things. So obviously this is very very important. But in order to tell them, to make them realize about emotional intelligence, that these are emotions, because when we don't know emotional intelligence, we think there are some external environment which is stopping me. Once we know about the emotional intelligence, we start thinking there is an internal environment which is stopping me. I am not focusing which I want, where I want to focus. I am not doing right things. If I do right things, I could get good results. I have seen many smart people, they are getting lazy day by day, they are not improving. I have seen many smart people, the way you described, just told me about the smart people. So they are making silly mistakes in front of the people, and just because of they lack emotional intelligence. And above all, there is if I ask people define ego, so they just define ego like, if I think I am something, this is ego. But in real world, this is an ego that I do not want to learn. I am already smart. I have seen two kind of people in my life so far. One, the one who thinks I am too smart, and people are getting above me because they have reference, or they have some other things. They have money, they are showing money, they are putting the reference on, or they are just saying yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, and they are getting progress. I am smart enough, I should get progress. But I think the other smartness is missing, which is the EQ part. And Daniel Goldman said that 80% of your career success, it depends upon the EQ. If you want to move forward, it's emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence also help us to learn more. And emotional intelligence can, if we lack emotional intelligence, really can stop us to learn more. And this is the, again, I have a case study for 5 to 6 software houses. The one thing which is common in all software houses, the developers do not want to learn about new technology. They want to stay in the same technology. And environment is changing, everything is changing, that technology is coming, but they do not want to move forward just to learn a new technology. And it's because of lack of emotional intelligence. They are unable to handle their uncontrollable emotions.
Thank you, Sabahuddin. Now, we talked about emotional intelligence. We talked about how it play a positive role for the success of a career or a project. So my next question is very important question, and I would ask. I mean, how can one manage his emotions? Do you have some tools that you can share with us? So, or you can advise
Yes.
a software engineer what tools he can use to like manage his techniques or tools to manage his emotions.
Yes, I have many tools. I just listed down and I put it in my table as well. So number one tool is a mood meter. Uh, I hope is it's clear. This is a mood meter, and we can use our tools to manage our emotions. And this is amazing tool for self-awareness. And mood meter stands, there is, in y-axis, if you can see, the energy, and in x-axis it's pleasantness. So if my energy is high and unpleasant on the other side, it means I am on the blue or on the red. If my energy is high and low on the right side, it means I am feeling green and yellow. So what does green and yellow and blue and red means? It means that if uh, I am on the left side, if I'm feeling red, it means I am feeling angry. If I am on the left side, I am feeling blue, it means sad, then calmness, then excitement. And in those four quadrant, I can write down as many emotions as possible, to name the emotion. One way to uh, to just reduce the energy or unpleasant energy of emotion is to name your emotions. So this is the first step to recognize where am I standing. And then the second step is name your emotions. And by the way, I must mention that I got this tool from Dr. Mark Brackett from Yale University, and you can Google this tool. It's called Mood Meter. This is the number one tool we can use. Then we just name all the emotions we are feeling. This is basically when I made this chart, these are my emotions, and it doesn't mean that it's negative side or it's positive side. Emotions, now latest research says that emotions are neither negative or positive. Emotions are data. It means emotions are information from me to me. So emotions are telling me something and guiding me towards my values. If I'm feeling frustrated about the project, it means maybe it guiding me to do it right way, to do it more in a quality way, or do it with the right person. It is a signpost. So emotions are data and telling us to do something. So we have to name those feelings. Then there is a TFA cards, think, feel, act. It's from 6 seconds. We can use this tool to manage our emotions, to know our patterns. For example, if I think, like I am a victim, so my feeling automatically, this is a triangle. By the way, this is a triangle. Think, feel, and act. So this is think, this is feel, and act. This is a triangle. We think in a, we are not only thinking, we are also thinking, we are also feeling, and then acting. So if I'm thinking I am the victim, so my feeling automatically would be depressed, helpless, and shut down. So this is thinking part, this is feeling part. And then what would I be acting? I would be acting like stop talking and withdraw. So this is my pattern, and it's in my mind. What do I need to do if I want to change this pattern? If I want to have a better pattern, I want to manage this emotion, I can start with the feel part. Feel, it's like I want to feel patient, calm, and relaxed. And then uh, if I want to feel this, I have to think. I can switch my thinking. What are some other ways to see this, whatever the situation? If I want to feel calm, then identify three or more options and evaluate them. So these are the think, feel, and act card. This is a second tool we can use to manage emotions. Then there is a third tool, which is emotional intelligence, EQ coach cards. We can use those coach cards to identify our intense emotions, to identify our uncontrollable emotions. For example, if I am reacting something, I can ask this question to me, that to myself, that how does your reaction serve you? So this is simple question. Whatever the reaction, and I don't like the reaction, is it serving me good or bad? Is it serving me? Is it helping me or not helping me? If it's not helping me, then I can really change this pattern. I can just reflect. Opposite of this card, there are more questions. Does your reaction make you feel better? Maybe just for a moment. If yes, then how? If not, then what does it do for you? So these are very good tools for the self-awareness, to know myself better. Am I in the better position or not? Then there are other cards. Again, if I want to understand, this is the initial stage. I want to understand emotional intelligence. Once it's in my immune system, I may not need these cards. Sometimes I need it, sometimes I don't need it. And then there is a social awareness. What are other key concerns? So these are the social awareness. I can use this card to know the environment, or to know myself. Appreciating others' worries, felicitates, accounting for their perspective. So we can find out through these cards what are the key concerns and what are the key emotions are there, because emotions really matter, and emotions really affecting our thoughts and action. So we have to work on those emotions. So these are the tools I can share right now.
Thank you. These tools are very informative, and I think they will be very beneficial for everyone who is watching this. My next question is is very important question, and I think by asking this question, I am representing a lot of HR managers, a lot of team leaders, and even the software engineers as well. Uh, there are people who are amazingly great in their work. They do manage their work, they perform very well, they are very innovative, they are very creative, but they are bad when it comes to people, like when they interact with their team leaders, when they interact with their peers, their clients, or their HR. Their behaviors are not, they cannot control their emotions. So what advice would you like to give to this kind of people? How can they manage it?
Okay, this is all about, again, it's all about emotional intelligence. You know what is happening whenever uh, there's a very amazing question I have written down about emotional intelligence. Let me read it out. How does it feel when you encounter each one of them? How does it feel? So when I am sitting here and some other person, my team member, is coming, I don't feel good about that person. So I have already assumed the result. I have already judged that person. So I am going to deal that person with that judgment, and it's going to be same. So what do I need to do? I have made a room of negative thoughts in my head about that person. This happens with me. I was teaching in a class, and one student was a very naughty student, and he was like misbehaving with me, and I was very triggered by that person, and he provoked my anger. And so whenever I was teaching, I was not feeling good about the whole class, and that impact was going on the whole class if I'm not in a good mood. So being an emotionally intelligent, I'm not saying I am totally emotionally intelligent, but I am studying this stuff, so I thought, let's apply it. We have to be honest. And I saw this hate feelings in myself. So what I did, I just called that person in my room. I just make him sit there, and I just offer him a juice, and then I start talking to him so that I can normalize my feelings, because those feelings were not just hurting that person, it was hurting the whole class, and I have to teach the whole class. So what I did, I just normalized those feelings. So it means if I am feeling anger about that person, I have to normalize and neutralize myself. In order to neutralize, there are many exercises. This is again a half truth. I do not know the other part of the story. That person may be suffering from the childhood. That person may be suffering from the childhood breakup of his or her parents, and so that person may be lack of something, human skills. And this is where, if I am a team leader and I do not tolerate a person, I should not be a team leader. If I am a team leader and I hate my team members, I should not be there. Or I need to learn emotional intelligence. I need to empathize with that person. I need to understand the other part of that person. I need to switch off my judgment and turn on other thoughts. Let the other thoughts come. Let read the data, what other people have been doing with those people whom they don't like. So once I understand the other part, I understand the situation of that person. Sorry. And I understand the feeling, what is the actual feeling of that person, why is he doing like this. Things can be neutralized. It required a hard work, not really hard work, but it requires work, effort. You have to put some effort. You have to educate yourself. You have to upgrade yourself. It happened with me a lot of time. It happened with me once. There was a coaching client with me, and he used to really triggered me off about, with his all kind of stuff. So all the time I was in the position to put myself, I am right and you are right. Once I put myself, I am right and you are wrong, it means it's game over. I am not worthy of leadership. I'm not worthy of to be a team leader or the teacher. So I was honest enough to be in the position that I am right and you are also right. You have good emotions, I have good emotions. the people we hate, uh, uh, they have good friends, and people other people feel good about them. It means they have good side, and it's not in front of me. So it's all about emotional intelligence. It's all about selfishness. I need to remove the selfishness. It's all about removing that hate. And it's when I have a hate, it's obviously it's hurting the whole environment, but also it is damaging me. I have put made a room in my head, and all the time whenever I see that person, I don't feel good. And whenever I don't feel good, chemical releases, and those emotional pains turn into the chronic pain, and those chronic pains turn into physical pain. And then we are in a hospital paying 10 lakh rupees for the transplant, for the other things. And this thing is very very cheap. We can sit in our office and we can resolve the issue straight away.
As you know that software engineers, they build software, they develop software for people, right? This software, every software that we see, it is always made for people. So how can software engineers, they can better and understand people? I mean, do you think that emotional intelligence can play a part, or what tools they can use to like better understand people who they work for? I mean, their end users or their clients. Do you have something to say about it?
Yes, again, that this mode meter is an amazing tool. What I can do, if I can see from the face that this person is in a red mode, yellow mode, blue mode, or green mode, and I I can strategize accordingly. If that person is not in a good mood, I can sit with that person. I can connect with that person. I can build a rapport. And emotional connection is the best connection. If emotions are missing, then obviously they are going they will do work. I know a person who says, I am working very hard in my job. I thought, I said, okay, how does it feel when you are in a job? He said, I don't feel very good. It's miserable feeling, bad feeling, unpleasant feeling. So, but I said, how can you work hard if you are not feeling good? He said, I am working hard. I am decorating everything. I am putting everything on the right place. By discussion, we end up in a statement that you are working hard, you are doing work, but you are work hard to avoid the work. You're not working hard to take the work to the next level. So you are avoiding that work. This is how you are doing. So it means that, if I understand persons, if I connect with the person emotionally, I can understand that person and influence those feelings. I can have a better result with that person. If, for example, I can understand, once I have to get that design done for my website. So what happened? A software engineer came and he didn't listen to me. He said, "Sir, I will make a such kind of website that you will feel happy." Now he thought that he will make a website best of his abilities, and I will feel happy, and I will feel happy when I my design, which is inside my mind, I can see on the system. And he thinks, no, when the best design which is inside his mind, then I will feel happy. This is totally opposite of the emotional intelligence. So what it does it mean that we are understanding the design and requirement, everything, but we need to understand the feeling as well. Once you are connected with the customer or the client or the people you are working with, you just win their hearts, and they only remember how you made them feel. They don't remember anything else. If you make them feel pleasant feelings, you leave them with the pleasant feelings, they won't forget for a whole life. Otherwise they may forget it.
And Sabaudin, as you know, that now we don't have the smaller projects where one single person is working on that and is completing from start to end. Now the volume of the projects in the softwares is huge, and now multiple people in the form of team. they work on one single project. And in the software engineering, communication is the key. If teammates they communicate well with each other, they will come up with a better solution. Their output, their outcome will be more closer to the requirements. So do you think that emotional intelligence can help people communicate better with their peers and their managers and their clients? If
Obviously,
so, can you
emotion.
give examples?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
sure.
Yeah, obviously emotional intelligence is at the first place. Because there is emotionally intelligent communication chapter in emotional intelligence. So emotionally intelligent means you are not hurting anyone's feelings, you are not making the joke of other people work, you are not making them feel low or less involved. So emotional intelligence is at the first place. I remember uh, other day, there was an exam going on in our university, and a teacher came, exam invigilator came to the room, and he said to the student that you are making making the yogurt out of my mind, the statement like this, and that person just shut down. It was a horrible statement about that person, and it was like he wants that person to act specifically in a specific way. Once he made that statement, he was really emotionally disconnected with that person. So it happens in a teams. It happens. I have a case study. Like once, a whole team was working in a project, and suddenly one person, which was the main developer, felt jealousy within their group mates, and he didn't express that jealousy, and that jealousy came out in other form. He withdrew that project, he stopped to working on that project, and then he left a whole project, and it was a very damaging situation for the company. So what happens? So jealousy is working there, the ego is working there. The worst thing is that we don't acknowledge jealousy and ego. We just ignore these emotions. I have seen people saying that leave your emotions at home, and humanly it is not possible. If person is egoistic, he would say, he would take credit to everything, for his team, for his, everywhere he wants to take credit just to satisfy his ego. And the jealousy, we don't acknowledge jealousy. We don't, even if you ask someone, are you jealous about this, and that person straight away say, no, I am not jealous, and it's hurting because we are not acknowledging it. We have no strategy to manage it. So it's, whenever humans or people are together, these emotions will always be there. Emotionally intelligent communication would be like understanding those emotions. If person is jealous, he could say that I am feeling jealous. This is a, in our culture this is not normal. I can understand, but after 10-15 years, I think this is a starting point, and after 10-15 years we have to acknowledge, okay, I am feeling jealous here, and next person, make that person feel comfortable. Don't worry about it, we are in a team and we are working. And people, another research just came to my mind, people work better and enthusiastically, with the engagement, when they are in a mission, when they are sitting together and they are fulfilling a mission, and they're taking the project as a mission, and then they are attaching their positive feelings with those that project, then results comes out dramatically very differently than if we are not emotionally intelligent. I have seen a lot of questions in the comments as well.
Yes, I have just one last question, and then we
Okay.
will go for the questions that our audience they're asking.
Okay.
Okay, so a very important question. How can we identify a software engineer I mean, what are the signs through which we can identify a high emotionally intelligent software engineer? So what are the signs that make them different, or make them different from the others? So do you have
Anger.
anything?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
If the high intensity emotion, stress, anger, depression, And this is high intensity. For example, this is stress. This is not only a stress. This could be a jealousy, this could be a ego, this could be a uncomfortable irritation, frustration. The all stress is sum up of 15 to 16 emotions, and unmanaged suppressed emotions comes up and it becomes stress. Again, anger. When we have seen a lot of Pakistani dramas in which we have seen the jealousy and envy emotions, and what happens where they end up in fight. So anger is not anger. Anger is like full of bowl. When it's end, then turns into the anger. It means there are many other emotions underneath those anger, that anger. So if we want to address, if we see that person is suddenly lose his temper, or if the person is in depression, person is overthinking, person is in deep stress, these are the emotions when he is unable to handle or manage those underneath emotions. Now these emotions turned into the big intensity emotions. So these are the simple signs that this person is not really emotionally intelligent. And then if other signs, you the with the normal person, he is not really not in a anger, not in a depression, not in a stress, but is a normal person. Emotionally intelligent software engineer listen attentively. He would not interrupt you. He would only ask questions and get the answers through those questions. They accept their mistakes. They don't. I remember a lot of times I made a mistake, and straight away I was not in a mood of saying sorry. It was my ego which is stopping me. But later, after one day, I go to that person. I said, "I'm really sorry. I hurt your feelings. Yesterday, I was not in a good mood, but today I must accept my mistake. I apologize to you." So what happens? I just remove that hate emotion from my mind, and I do not want to see that person, always see that person and always think bad about it, because it gives me hate feelings and it's not good for my health. So they accept their mistakes. They know how to manage their emotions. They are team players. They understand people. They understand that people can have different point of view about different things. If one person likes a different cricket team, it's okay. They understand their point. If one person likes a small egg and the one person like big egg, it's their different culture. They are coming from the different schools. So it's okay to have a different beliefs. And it's again, I am okay and you are okay. It's not like I am okay and you are not okay, and I am not okay and you are okay. It's a very balanced relation. They demonstrate empathy. They understand other people's feelings, deeply understand that. They read facial expression. They are not aggressive nor passive. They are assertive. Aggressive means they're not like only my feelings. Passive means only your feelings. I am okay. And assertive means I care for my feelings and I also care for your feelings. So they are more assertive. So these are the signs of good software engineer.
Spalding, we have some questions from audience as well. The
Yes,
first
yes,
question
I
is
can see that.
emotional intelligence 100% equal to emotion control?
Well, we could say not 100%, because emotional intelligence covers a lot of part. Emotional control is just a little part of that emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence covers empathy and communication skills, adaptability, change management, self-awareness. Emotional control is all about that I control. And again, this statement could not be, it's like emotion. It should be like emotional management. We cannot control our emotions. Controlling is in the negative way. We can manage our emotions, and emotions are not bad. Not bad. Emotions are data. Feeling could be unpleasant. Those feelings, unpleasant feelings, are suppressed emotions. So these are not bad emotions. And our confidence, our performance, productivity, focus, lies in our emotions. Once these are really in a line, then we can perform better. So this should be emotional intelligence. Like you could say it's a part of emotional intelligence. It's not the 100% equal to the emotional control.
So we have one more question.
Them are emotionally intelligent, other are not. What could be result if five of them are emotional? Well, it's the same thing. It's a parents-child relationship. If parents have spent more life than child, so it's up to the child, and child's it's up to the parent, and parents are highly responsible to manage that situation. It's same like if person is not a person is working with not working with the emotionally intelligent people. It's a responsibility of emotionally intelligent person to manage those emotions. Like if I'm teaching in my university, I have to bear a lot of comments, I have to bear a lot of bad misbehaviors, and I have to create a emotional connection. And I tell you a secret that I have made many emotional connections with my students, and with the wherever I conduct my trainings. Once I made my emotional connection, and I do not express a negative expression to my audience, they are connected with me. They don't withdraw. You know what happens if I am, for example, I say an emotional intelligent person, and I share negative expression about specific person. Oh, look, he's coming again. Negative expression. I'm not emotionally intelligent. It means I have to revise my things. I have to reconsider it. So it's a highly responsive. I think we need to understand emotional intelligence deeply. Once we understand deeply, we can handle the situation. Second thing, another came to my mind, that this is a good place if you are with the people who are not really emotionally intelligent. This is a good place to practice your emotional intelligence. This is a very good place to practice your emotional intelligence. You are saying you are emotional intelligent, and practice it. And I am practicing all the time with my family and children. You know how hard for a parent to handle children. So it's all emotional intelligence.
Before they come up with the next question, let me ask one question. One of my friends is
Yes.
working in a software organization, and he's an HR there. And he asked a very weird question during this training, and I was just reading it. And he said that sometimes organizations, they have their own criterias to facilitate an employee. He think maybe he think differently. So at the time of appraisal, at the time of increment, an organization, they give them an increment, and the employee, he just they tell him about his weaknesses, his strengths, and area of improvement, and all that, and then they offer him an increment. They sign it, they just go away, and just after a month or so, they just quit because they think that they should be given more. uh, on the organization side, they think that this person, he should have come to us and he should have discussed this with us. On the other hand, employee think that, oh, okay, no, they don't know my worth. Because they don't know my worth, so it's worthless to talk to them. So what do you suggest, and as a software engineer, how should he behave, how should he tackle this situation if he think that he is under this situation? So
As a software engineer, how should he tackle? Or as a
yeah,
HR, how should he tackle? You're talking about as
as
a
a
software
software
engineer.
engineer, as a
Okay,
software engineer.
as a software engineer, trust me, it's if he thinks that he is capable of more salary, and he is less, he has been paid less. So it means that there is a comparison going on somewhere, and that person, when there is a social comparison, he is looking at different people on Facebook, and other colleagues and other people who are switching here and there. I have told this thing before, that if person lacks emotional intelligence, it means he will blame all external environment. He is not going to blame himself. and one person is saying I am more capable, this is egoistic statement. I am not saying this could be the negative thing. uh, uh, if that person is not satisfied, he can sit with the person, and if he is not expressive, then HR should know about the team members that this person is not expressive. I should call this that person into my office and let him express the emotions, and I should not judge that person. It's very difficult. It requires a lot of practice. So what I suggest that gratitude is a number one thing, and then the less comparison, should not compare yourself with other people. Then if you really think that you are capable of something, then its environment, they know that you are capable of something, they will say that you are not the only one who could say that. So they can promote you, or they can appreciate your work, and they can just tell you that okay, no problem. It's a part of the life. And then that person should be patience enough that uh, uh, it's okay if increment is less. Next time he can get better increment. Again, I guess both on the both side, this is a lack of emotional intelligence, because both sides are saying I am okay and you are not okay, and the software engineer again saying I am okay and you are not okay, and there is a communication barrier between them, and there is a hate emotion there. They do not want to talk about it. Like all politicians, they after 6 months of elections, they start saying we do not want to talk about this to that person, to that person, to that person. This is emotional immaturity, that we do not want to talk about or talk to that person whom we hate. So this is totally emotional immaturity. What is more important is our goals rather than our ego. So we need to focus on our goal, and we have to sacrifice our ego in order to get our goals. And whoever has achieved goals or achieved something in their life, they have sacrificed their ego and jealousy and all these emotions. They didn't let their emotions come on the way. They use their pleasant and positive and whatever good emotions. Even anger is a very good, constructive anger is a very good emotion. It really makes you decide to do something. So I would say that it's a communication barrier on the both side. So how to improve EQ? Well, start from self-awareness, and self-awareness have two parts. Emotional literacy. Start learning about emotions and naming those emotions. So start learning about every emotion has different strategy. This is very important. Every emotion, like if I am feeling uncertainty, it has different strategy. If I'm feeling worried, it has different strategy. uh, I have noted down my 100 top emotions. Basically, these are the part of those 100 emotions, and I have seen how am I reacting, or how am I uh, feeling those emotions in different environment. So what? How did I do it? It took me 3 to 4 years to write down my emotions, because I was into emotional intelligence. It was for me first to must aware of those emotions. So every emotion have different strategies. So first step is to learn emotional literacy, and then recognize your patterns. It's very important. Recognize your reactions where you do not want to. It's simple. If you come, you go to the office in the morning and you are not in a mood of doing work, then just reevaluate your values and your why. Why are you working? What benefit are you getting? And it's a deep thing, and that is where you can start improving your emotional intelligence, just to name your emotions, recognize your patterns, and then find the need of the emotion. If you are feeling jealous, it means, so every emotion has a meaning. It is a message. I'm feeling jealous, it is a message from inside to me, from me. And what is the message? Jealousy equals to disguised inspiration. I somewhere in my life, or somewhere I want this the same thing. I gave this example in many sessions, that once I saw my student traveling through the world and I got jealous. So I was I was looking at his profile, and I thought, okay, he is showing off. I just closed his profile. I really got jealous by seeing him traveling through around the world. And he was my student. He was less than me, and now he's traveling. It was very horrible feeling for me. So later I analyzed that what did I do? What what did I feel? So I named my emotion. It's jealousy. And what do I need to do? I need to respond rather than reacting. So what I just opened the Facebook again, and then I texted him. I said, "You are an amazing person traveling around the world. Please help me to travel around the world as well, because I want to travel as well." So it's this is how I turned the emotional condition situation into emotionally intelligent situation. I asked him, and he was very willing to help. He was very expressive. He welcomed my feelings, and he said, "Okay, I can help you how to travel easily around the world." And I traveled 2 3 countries from that ideas. A future of it's a future of EIL. Well, I think we need to teach this emotional intelligence to our children. It's a need of the time. I think we are short of time as well, so I answer it quickly. It's a need of the time. But it's a huge impact, because now that generation is coming. This is social media generation. It means they are making comparison already. Like, I can give the example of my daughter. She is 6 years old, and she was just looking at the cartoons, and she was copying those cartoons, and she was making comparison, and she was telling that, "I want this, I want this, I want this." So this is very important for the future of our children, so that we can have a better generation coming next. Okay, how can we make our career? Just start reading about books. I started with a Daniel Goleman book, emotional intelligence, working with emotional intelligence. I bought all the books I ordered from abroad. I couldn't get from Pakistan. So Permission to Feel is a good book to start. Then there's a book called Emotional Intelligence 2.0, and then there's a book called Emotional Agility. I have went through all those books. So then there's a book called EQ Applied. So there are a lot of books. You can start from a book, and then you can analyze yourself. How can you apply those emotional intelligence tools in your life, and then you can become make your career in it.
Okay, so there was one more question. Someone asked that his team leader, he get angry on small mistakes, and he wanted to know how can he handle that. Okay, yeah, how can I control my emotions?
Oh, okay.
Because
I It's a simple answer. Learn emotional intelligence.
yeah,
Learn
so
emotional. Read
yeah,
about emotional intelligence. Yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to tell him that you already answered this question.
yeah.
So I think that's it for today. We don't have any more questions. But guys, if I personally think this was a very, very fruitful session. I personally learned a lot from this session, and its recording will be available on YouTube. You can go and watch it anytime. And on top of that, thank you very much to all of those who are watching this, and hopefully this will help them to learn, manage, and identify their emotions. And as Sabaudin said, once you identify your emotions, then there is a possibility that you can manage them. Also, you can directly contact Sabaudin Wakar as well. You can have his LinkedIn profile and WhatsApp messages. You can also ask from us, and we will share his number with you. And if you want to have a one-on-one session with him, is totally available for that. He has been doing this for the last 5 years. And in the last, Sabaudin, thank you very much for your time.
You are
You
welcome.
prepared it very well, and I think this session is very helpful for our software industry, our software engineers, and code movement community. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
everyone. If you still have any question, you can go and ask in the comments. You can also ask more questions on our WhatsApp group. And as usual, we would say that you can also email at info@codemovement.pk. Thank you very much, Sabaudin. Thank you very
You're
much,
welcome.
our team
Thank you very much.
who has managed and arranged everything. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.